Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's Got Legs, episode 5, with your host, Max and Will.
Hello.
Unfortunately, hello. We're back at my house. Unfortunately, we couldn't film the pod yesterday again, and Jack couldn't join us today. But we have had a few messages from our listeners out there. Thank you again for joining us. Two things. First of all, I say a lot. That's some feedback I've had. So I'm really sorry to those listeners that find that really agitating.
I like this thing where any feedback you get, you're telling the listeners so they can then pick you up on it even further.
Yeah, so I'm really going to try and stop myself from doing that. So sorry in advance. Second of all, we've also had some other listeners kicking up a fuss and making sure that I did a run. I'll just say again. After we filmed the episode 4. Yes, I have, and we've also done a run before this podcast. We actually all ran different routes yesterday, so it's currently Sunday, the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Thank you very much, and with you too, sir. I'll say But yeah, so I ran the East Grinstead Parkrun. Well, you ran the...
I ran the Brundall Parkrun in Norwich.
What track?
So I was up in Norwich. I was on a stag do this weekend.
Oh.
So obviously came back down south today.
Greatest weekend of my life.
And I just we hired a boat and we went in the Norfolk Broads, and yeah, it was nice. But on the Saturday, I was very keen to find a parkrun because obviously, that's obsessed. What we do now, and we're obsessed. So I looked it up on the map. We probably, from the boatyard, I probably had about a 10-15 minute walk to the car and then 15-20 minute drive to this parkrun.
That is commitment.
And two of the other lads joined me, which was great. I thought I was going to be on my own.
First timers?
No, but Matt, who joined me, did do his 50th parkrun, and he didn't even realise. So,
all right, milestone.
Yeah, milestone.
Big up, Matt.
Big up, Matt, from milestone. We went to this parkrun, and it was exactly sort of what I'd imagined it to be. So we were very in the sticks in Norwich. I say in Norwich, in Norfolk, and so we're driving down, and the map gets to 2 minutes to this parkrun, and I'm literally in the middle of fields, in this car. And then we come around the corner. Suddenly, the parkrun bend, and we pull into this tiny little car park. And there's a guy there, and he's like, "Welcome to parkrun." We parked up, and then we got out, and it was the way it was set up. We put some pictures out, and there's so the start line is all bunting across the thing, so they got a proper start line. And it's it was so cute. It was this little village setup. It was it's like an orchard,
proper community feel.
Proper community feel. So it was the route was 4 laps.
4 laps,
which was quite a lot, but it was round the edge of this. I say it was a field, but there were lots of trees and wildlife in the middle, so you couldn't see exactly where you were going.
Okay.
Relatively flat, and then they had a bit of the run, which was towards the end of each lap, and it was a hill, and they called it the Travelator.
Right.
Because they were obviously a Travelator takes you up, but every time you do it, it gets harder and harder. And I had a chat with the guy I met in the car park, and he was saying, "What's your PB?" Because I'd had 30 seconds onto it today. So I was getting the lowdown of the course. But it was great. Honestly, the feeling of that parkrun was exactly what parkrun's all about.
Yeah. What were the marshals like when you? Because I'm guessing you were saying thank you, Marshal.
Yes.
And how they responded?
The race director was brilliant. You can tell that he knows probably 99 out of 100 people that were stood in front of him.
Yeah.
So he was cracking jokes. He was brilliant, honestly. He had almost a little script as well. So that was really, really nice. And then, so he went through all the normalities. And he was like, before we go through the milestones today, I've actually got a milestone to tell you about before we announce them.
Okay.
So he said, I can't remember his name. Let's say for the sake of the story, David. David's doing his 250th parkrun today.
Okay.
And to the right of where he's doing this briefing, you had a little church sort of coffee van come down, and they had little seats set up. So it was adding to this community feel.
I put it on the Instagram. It's Got Legs pod. Have a look at the Instagram.
Yeah, and it was 50p for tea and coffee and things like that, and £1 for a cake or whatever. And because it was this guy's 250 parkrun, he paid for everybody to have teas and coffees at
Really?
the end of the parkrun. Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he got his own announcement because he'd put money behind to pay for everyone's tea and coffee.
And you just came on for your first time in Norwich and was like, yeah, it's with all the locals.
Cheers for the freebie.
That's really nice, to be fair.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that is what Parkrun's all about.
Yeah, but it was brilliant.
Free coffee.
It was brilliant.
That's so lovely. And how did you do? What was your time?
23:54.
Mate, that's quick.
Pretty happy.
That's really good.
Pretty happy with that. Matt, who ran his 50th, saying he hadn't run below like 25 minutes in about 3 years, and he didn't run with any sort of pace watch or anything.
Yeah, he just ran.
And he finished like 20 seconds in front of me.
Oh, mad.
And it was like his PB for like years.
Congratulations.
So,
buzzing.
But yeah, it was really cute, really nice little track. Exactly what Parkrun's all about.
Yeah.
Because you do go to the bigger ones sometimes, and it feels more like an established event.
Yeah. It's like that at Cardiff, 100%. Like, because they're so on it with it, because it needs to be so organised, doesn't it? Especially when you have like the funnels and mix up of times and stuff, and the marshals need to be strict and military based and on it. But sometimes, the small ones like we've been to recently, you get that community feel.
But you forget that's actually what Parkrun's all about. The big ones are brilliant and they're good events to do, but these little community ones, like I can imagine in the winter that track, like they get down to quite a small amount of people. Yeah. But like they just keep it going, and those are the people that are like that. Yeah, that is what Parkrun's all about, isn't it?
Like you spoke to Ian last week, isn't it? Like he's there for his own enjoyment, creating this community feel for us runners just to show up and do our thing. And but like the difference between like Wakehurst that we were talking about last week has 3 co-event directors. Yeah, like this place won't have any of that. So like it's the difference in scales of Parkrun, but it's just that's why we love it. Well, like whilst we're on the topic of talking about different routes and Parkruns and stuff, one thing I do want to introduce. Wills wants me to do it today, but I think we need a bit more time just to clarify how we're going to go about it. But I think it'd be quite fun to rank a lot of the routes that we've been running. Gives us a bit more purpose and like reasons why. And that'd be quite fun to do. We want to come up with a ranking system about each different route that we run based on certain like characteristics, whether that's the difficulty, how nice the marshals are. I don't know. We need to come up with the rules. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But yes, keep an eye out for our socials at It's Got Legs Pod. I'm really pushing the socials at the moment, where we're going to have maybe our parkrun leaderboard of the best parkrun route that It's Got Legs feel that we've ran. And also get feedback about different routes that you've ran or you might have run, and maybe where they rank in your parkrun leaderboard. I think you can begin to establish. We can obviously give listeners a feel of what's a good PB track, what's quite a hard one to do, but maybe a bit like Wakehurst, the scenery is amazing. So like we can give people can look at our leaderboard and understand actually what the parkrun's like. Also, if you're going for your first time, or you just want to, or you want to go for the social side of things, or you're not really worried about time, you more want to like enjoy your surroundings and enjoy running, then stuff like that. I think it's a good thing to do. Yeah, absolutely. So last week, watch this space big time. So obviously with the marathon last week, Will keeps talking about that he ran it ages ago. But I was doing some digging. Well, I haven't shown you this. I got so much FOMO. People running the marathon, and congratulations to everyone. Yes, well done. We did congratulate them last time, but congratulations. Honestly, unbelievable. Crazy event. Well, going on segue to what I'm about to talk about, it's broken the world record. Just consult my notepad. There, it is the biggest marathon in the world, official world record. You can actually, in terms of people starting and completing, you can, if you ran it, public service announcement for any London Marathon runners out there, if you haven't already, get in touch with the Guinness World Book of Records, and you are eligible to get your own medal, because you are technically part of that world record. You can get one of the framed pictures. That's cool. With the certificate as well. It's mad. So you could technically be a world record holder, very much like I want to be, by eating as many. You watch the marathons now, like edge above each other by like 1 or 2 runners each time. But basically, what I found interesting was the amount of world records that were
Yeah.
broken at so
there's all sorts of mad ones that people try and do, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about at your half marathon, the bus. People trying to do the quickest bus, right?
So get this. There were 103 runners that were attempting to break world records.
Wow.
Out of those 103 runners, there were 87 world record titles that were attempted to break. Because there were some people who were going for the same record, right?
Yeah.
That includes your casual runner, but also the elite runners.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of those 87 record attempts, or the 103 runners, 41 records were set or broken at the end of the day.
Wow, so there's almost 50% of records are broken. That's pretty good, isn't it? Like, because world records are world records for a reason, right?
Yeah. So I got here that the first record that was broken in the day was broken by the Ethiopian long distance runner. Forgive me about the pronunciation. I have tried to practice. Tigst Asifa, the fastest marathon ran by a female in the female only race at 2 hours 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Unbelievable.
Wow. Is that just at London, or is that just like?
I've got here that it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've got here that it is marathon, female marathon. Wow. That's what I've got. I might be incorrect with that, so we might need to fact check that. And then I've also got here that the first record set in fancy dress, right, was set by So Roo Young, who completed the marathon in 2 hours and 39 minutes. And his record...
That's quick, by the way.
Very, very quick. And his record title is Fastest Marathon in a Suit. Which then...
do you know what I saw?
What?
I saw the guy... this guy's obviously amazing. Did you see the guy running as Mr. Bean?
yeah. Well, on that topic,
he's all over social.
Mate, on this topic, it got me thinking about, like, okay, well, there are so many world records that were attempted. What... I thought we could play a fun game for you and listeners out there.
Yes.
So, true or false?
Okay.
Did this world record get broken or achieved at the London Marathon last week? Okay.
So it's a bit of a stab in the dark for me, but it's just, I'll go off instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the title of the record, the name, and the time they completed and all the stats behind it. And then I want you to say if it's true or false.
Can I just ask a question on this?
Of course you can.
Are they all legit attempts, or are there some that are just completely wildly made?
They're all legit. Well, no, I've got curveballs in there. You'll get it. But you need to work out if they are real or not. Okay. So number one, fastest marathon wearing foam clogs set by a male, Tommy Trees, completed in 2 hours, 48 minutes and 48 seconds.
Foam clogs. I saw someone running in Crocs. I assume that doesn't count. What was the time?
2 hours, 48 minutes and 48 seconds.
In foam clogs. I'm going to start with a false.
That's true.
It's true.
Congratulations to Tommy Trees, world record holder.
People run this fast and then they're doing...
There was a guy in Paris. Do you know the guy in Paris that completed the Paris Marathon in ski boots?
Yes. I don't even know.
Pray to his feet.
I actually haven't seen the video of him unboxing his feet from the...
don't want you want
it. What?
Gross. Anyway, right, moving on. Back on track.
Yeah.
Fastest marathon dressed as a cave person. James Timbrell completed in 2 hours, 57 minutes and 1 second.
I've got Fred Flintstone in my head. What's I saying? Yabba dabba doo? I'm going to go true.
Yeah, that is true. Congratulations, James Timbrell, world record holder. Next one. Fastest marathon completed pushing a trolley. Michael Graham completed in 5 hours, 26 minutes and 2 seconds.
I'm going to go false. Are you allowed to push a trolley at the London Marathon? I'm going to go false.
Yeah, that's false. I made that up.
I feel like if you're pushing a loose item, I don't feel like that's allowed.
Well, imagine pushing a trolley. I just thought I'd throw it in. That's quite funny. Okay, right, next one. Fastest marathon dressed as a traffic cone by a male category. Michael Wiggins completed in 3 hours, 13 minutes and 18 seconds.
Traffic cone. I feel like I saw something about somebody dressed as a traffic cone. I'm going to go true.
Yeah, that is true. Congratulations, Michael Wiggins.
What am I so far? So first one wrong.
Yeah, we need to check this back. I think you got the first one wrong, and the next. Yeah, I think you're 3-1.
3 out.
3-1. Yeah, 3-1.
3 out.
So
4.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
Next one. Most toilet stops during a completion of a marathon, which was by Chantal Macy, She did 37 toilet stops and completed the marathon in 4 hours, 55 minutes, and 8 seconds.
I'd love to know whether that was like intentional.
Oh, you got a world record. Oh, wicked.
Yeah, just had the runs. There's a lot of toilets. So I imagine at each toilet stop, because obviously there are particular marks. There's multiple urinals or whatever, not urinals. What are they called?
Portaloos.
Portaloos.
Yeah.
37.
And there are multiple portaloos at each stop as well.
I think I'm going to say false, because I think there's more toilets than that around the course, and I think that could be done.
What I find really funny is that you're using real logic, but I've just made that up. Yeah, that's not true. So you got it right. Okay, next one. Fastest marathon dressed as a mythical creature, set by Adam Cottrell. He completed it in 4 hours, 7 minutes, and 38 seconds.
Do we know what the mythical creature was?
I haven't got it written down.
Okay,
we have to check that.
How long?
4 hours, 7 minutes, and 38 seconds.
I'm going to go false.
That's true. Adam Cottrell, world record holder.
It's really interesting though, isn't it? Because you know the guy that's running in clogs and he's running in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Could he just go and dress as a mythical creature next year?
This is the point I'm making.
Do people? I'd love to know actually if anyone's broken world record at the marathon. Do people just like outdo each other all the time?
They must do.
And then a new one comes on and somebody's like, "Oh, I've never run as like Buzz Lightyear before."
I know. Yeah. How many world records can you get in one day? But it's also like, so I've got 4 left. But before I go on that topic, like I said, I think it was 87 records were attempted to be broken. But then how many people were dressed as a mythical creature trying to get that world record?
So funny,
like racing each other.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So 4 left.
Yeah.
Fastest marathon dressed as a fish by female. It was completed by Sarah Haddock.
Yeah.
In 7 hours, 56 minutes, and 53 seconds.
I'm not having it.
Maybe that's true. Yeah, it did. Yes, Sarah Haddock. I promise.
Her name's Haddock.
It's on the website, mate.
That is.
Congratulations, Sarah Haddock, world record holder.
That is actually sensational.
Okay, right. We've got 3 left. Okay, so most underpants worn during a marathon. Jason, I can't even read my writing. Sorry, Jason. It's Jason either Burberry or Dewberry. I haven't read that. And it's 52 underpants worn.
Do you know what? As soon as you said that in my head, you've seen Friends?
No.
Really. You haven't. But there's a scene basically where Joey walks in. They're trying to get ready for like a night. And Joey walks in, he's wearing all of Chandler's clothes, and he's like, "Could I be wearing any more clothes?" And he's literally like wearing all of his underpants.
I feel like I've seen that clip. To be
you
fair,
might have. How many pairs?
52. I haven't got the time he completed it in though. It's just most underpants worn.
False.
No, it's true. I know. There's a picture of him. We'll have to clip it, and we'll have to get a picture underneath. It's so funny. Okay, 2 left. Most energy gels consumed in a single marathon.
Oh no.
Olivia Rutherford.
Yeah.
And it's, again, I haven't got the completion time, but it's 42 gels, 1 per kilometer.
I can honestly, when I did all the training and stuff, and you honestly get like so fed up with gels. They still make me feel sick.
No.
Because you get to a point where you're genuinely like, you're drinking this like sugary, glucosey
and the
stuff,
textures all
and you
like,
it just hits a point where you're just like,
42
42. No,
gels.
False.
Yeah, no, that's false. Yeah, well, that's false. Right, last one. Fastest marathon that was completed in crutches. It was a male, David Wetherill, 5 hours, 59 minutes, and 5 seconds.
I saw this. That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There you go. Have you seen the video of that?
No, I haven't.
Honestly, unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, unbelievable. We'll put something in there, but it's genuinely insane. Like when I show you the video, you'll realize what I'm talking about. It's unbelievable.
Some of these I have seen, some of them, and that was one, to be fair, that I just found on the website that I just wrote down. I didn't realize how crazy it was. So yeah, well, you have to show me after. But I guess on the topic of marathons and running and stuff, like I always find like the shoe talk really interesting, and like especially the elite runners, like what shoes they wear, and obviously like some of them are. Everybody has different styles of shoes. I don't know if some athletes are like sponsored, so then that's why they wear a certain shoe. But I obviously have a very, very bright pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I haven't really been influenced by an athlete of that. I just quite like the look of bright Puma shoes. I haven't got them here to show listeners. I've wore them on the first episode. But do you think do you think that I think I'm an elite runner, having someone?
No.
No,
not at all. I genuinely feel like we sort of touched on this last time in terms of like how running is like an inclusive sport and people don't really think or judge other people that much. I genuinely think running is one of the only sports where wearing, and I don't know whether this is because you're road running a lot of the time and you want to wear bright fluorescent stuff.
Yeah,
maybe that's where it's come from. But I think running is one of the like only sports where it's accepted that like if you're wearing bright shoes, a bright top or whatever, you're not in your head thinking you're incredible. It's just part of it. It's part of running. Because I'd compare that to football. And I am a very untechnically gifted centre back. I always call myself gifted then. And growing up, I never felt good enough to wear bright boots. So I always wore black boots the whole time. And I still only wear black boots because I don't feel flashy enough or good enough on the ball. But like, I don't feel like running's like that at all.
Oh, it's funny you say that on the football thing because I'm even less technically gifted than you are, and I have the brightest, pinkest boots.
You don't, do you?
Yeah, I wear pink boots when I play football.
Oh, no. All right,
so maybe that myth is a bit of a myth.
maybe it's changed nowadays.
I don't know. No, it just got me thinking about like shoes and like how people perceive each other when like based on what you wear, basically. Isn't it?
Yeah, well, talking of shoes, I actually looked into some stuff on running shoes, just and I think we should do some more on this and like actually really educate ourselves. And I think when we get future guests on, and there's a few people who've got lined up, I'd love to. That's probably something we can touch on with them because they can really dive into like what different shoes you need for wear and something like that. But I thought I'd look into some like general stats about running shoes because I do think a lot of the time it's sort of like you close your eyes, you throw a dart, and you go, okay, I like that one, and I'll go for it.
Yeah.
So I looked into there were a couple of studies actually. So there was a survey that was commissioned by Icks that basically was saying that they reckon after this survey, they reckon around 70% of runners are probably wearing the wrong shoe for them. And that's because basically 80% of runners have never been for a gate fitting. And I think a lot of people won't necessarily know gate fittings exists. And funnily enough, I recommended you to go for a gate fitting.
Yeah, you did.
When I've not been for one myself.
Have you not?
No. So I stumbled across Nike. I'm very fortunate. I get some Nike discount. So I very much was like, well, because I get that, why would I not buy Nike?
Yeah, of course.
So I very much settled on a shoe that I felt was comfy.
Yeah.
Comfy. And looked relatively cool. And you've seen the shoes that I ran the marathon that I bought them because I was like, these are cool.
Do you run a marathon?
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. That people haven't been for a gate fitting. And I wonder what your experience of a gate fitting is like, because obviously I've never been for one. And the first thing I said to you when you asked for advice about running shoes was go for a gate fitting. Yeah. Because they'll tell you how you run.
And to be fair, that is the first thing I would say to a few people. My sister's boyfriend, Dan, shout out Dan. I remember after he listened to the podcast and on my half marathon as well, nearly half marathon, we were texting back and forth about him getting into running because he's quite naturally like got a great build for running and is naturally already quite quick. And he asked me, and I said to him, definitely go get an ISIS done. And he went and did that. But for me, it was. I think I went to like Go Outdoors or like a store like that. I paid £15. So really, that's not a lot at all. I remember I spoke to you about it. Like, what would you rather do? Would you rather spend, say, I don't know, just running shoes, like depending on where you go, are really expensive. So upwards of like £100 to £200 of a pair of shoes that aren't indirectly not correct for you and then could indirectly then cause you injury or pain or discomfort when running? Or would you want to spend £15 to then find out what's the right shoe for you? And for me, that was great. I mean, and it turns out that they said I've got a great running style. I can wear whatever shoes I want. So it didn't. Yes.
Look at you, perfect.
So then I was, but it gave me peace of mind though. It gave my mind clarity. Like, I can just choose. I can just,
because it is scary.
Yeah. Like you're investing in this pair.
I still find it, because I've not been for a gate fitting and I've never looked outside of Nike. I still find it quite daunting when everyone talks about running shoes. Yeah. Because there's, and this is what we should obviously get into with like a guest, is there's so many different shoes for different things. People train in different shoes. People go on different runs during training with different shoes. There's different distance shoes. There's different. It's honestly, and
the shelf life of shoes as well. The shelf life of them.
And I don't think a lot of people know about shelf life of shoes. And they must be different per shoe. Yeah. Because there is like a general number out there, but like it must be different. So like that's something I actually don't think the everyday runner. There is that education out there about running shoes.
Yeah, me neither. To be fair, and you end up like searching on TikTok about like for yourself, but then you're kind of being influenced by maybe brands or like certain people's like particular opinion. When really you need like an unbiased like the facts.
Yeah, because everyone looks at. I mean, it's the same as anything. It's the same as football boots. Same as anything. Everyone looks at the new and the best thing on the blog and it's like, I want that and I'll spend lots of money on that, but it might not be the best thing for you, and it's really fascinating because the different ways. Obviously there's like pronating and all of that you can do, but there was one more thing I looked at of that as well. So I don't have percentages for this one, but there was this recent study done at the University of Florida that basically found out that the majority of people going into running and buying running shoes would buy shoes based off comfort, which is important, which is probably one of the most important things. However, in the running store, people will buy shoes that almost have the thickest base to them, because they feel like it gives them the most spring and obviously the most softening. And at points that is correct, and comfort is key when it comes to running. But they basically looked at the correlation between people picking really thick, comfy running shoes to like injuries with like Achilles and all that sort of thing, and like it heightens that. So if you don't, they're basically saying like, if you don't get it right and you pick a shoe that doesn't suit your running style, you essentially change your running style to suit the shoe, which doesn't suit your body, because obviously your foot will be a different way or whatever. So obviously we can find more stats about that and we'll go into it in more detail, but I think it's interesting knowing the injuries and all that come into that sort of challenge.
That is really that is really interesting, definitely. So anyone out there, 100% go get a gait analysis done. It's worth doing. I'm pretty sure at Go Outdoors for me, I paid the £15 and then the incentive was, I think within 30 days, I think it was, then you can use that £15 towards a pair of running shoes within the store. I ended up getting a pair from online from like another brand, so I ended up like I just spent £15, but I had that peace of mind to be I just need to go on what works for me. But it's good.
Oh, that's brilliant.
On that though, about people wearing different stuff and like shoes and things, what are your thoughts on people who wear like carbon plated shoes to park runs?
I don't think my knowledge is good enough to have too much of a comment. But all I do know is they're very expensive. And unless you're trying to win the parkrun, I don't know what I would, because they again have a short shelf life, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like it basically just got me thinking of like there's always a chat of like running Icks, like what's your running Icks? Yeah. What's your parkrun Icks?
Yeah.
So I've again for my notepad copied you, got a notepad. I've written a couple down, and one of my running Icks. Yeah. I have spoken to you about this already before, so like you know it's coming. Yeah. Is when like you drop something during a park run.
That's so unfortunate. Sometimes you can't help it.
I know, but it's still the nick, isn't it? Like I remember before, so when I've been in Cardiff, that's like we touched on the start, it's a really busy park run, especially at the start. There'll be like a really like big funnel of people everybody's trying to get on the path. Yeah. And if one person doesn't move, well then it just messes up the pack behind. And this one woman like just dropped something, so then she has to stop, bend down, and then the noises, everyone's like, whoa, like shouting and stuff. Like it's so funny. And like the secondhand embarrassment of like trying to pick up all your stuff, especially if you lose change.
Yeah. Do you know what? You just reminded me of in Watford when I used to do the parkrun up there. There's
Yeah.
so many people. The starts at parkrun are hectic.
Yeah.
And that happened, and like because everyone is so focused on their times and their PBs, like this person genuinely just got like trampled by like everybody. Like, nobody gave any sort of just like, oh, there's somebody fallen. Everyone was like, nah, I'm getting my time this morning.
Thank you, Marshall.
It was great. Yeah. No, I hear you on that. Actually, talking of things falling out of pockets or dropping things, I think one of the things, and I think I find it annoying when when I hear it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's one of my icks, is people running with keys loose in their pocket.
Yeah. Jangling.
I genuinely don't understand. So when I go running, everything has to be like tight on me in person, right? So phone's got to be in a proper running belt. If that's slightly loose, that annoys me. If there's a ticking noise in my shoe or whatever, I can't, because I focus on those things too much.
Yeah.
Keys in your pocket. How do you have a set of car keys just jingling around in your pocket? And how does that not annoy you for half an hour?
And also, how's it not like play on your mind that you're probably annoying other people as well that are around you? You know? Yeah. I hear you.
But like, I've got nothing against it, and other than it annoys me.
Yeah.
So like, if you're happy doing it, all good. But honestly, when you're trying to run, I
you
feel
end up
like
running quicker just to get away.
So many things take me off focus.
Yeah. Fair.
Which sort of takes. Actually, another one is like, the other thing that takes me off focus is real heavy breathers.
Oh, well, I've got that written down. I've written that down.
So like, I try and focus a lot when I run on like my running, like breathing routine, because I find I really easily fall out of a routine. But when you have someone behind you that is honestly just like gasping for air,
playing tennis.
Yeah, literally. Like, again, that's something that I focus on, and I almost start breathing like they breathe, and it throws me off completely.
Well, I've got a confession, to be fair. It is a running ick, but I am one of those I am a grunter. Like I am a, like I've put on there like some like people who like talk to themselves whilst they're running, but I am fully one of those people. So it is an ick. So whenever somebody else does it, I'm like, oh, but I am fully like, well, come on, Max, come on. I grunted.
Give yourself a pep talk.
Yeah. Come on, Tommy Fury, come on, sprint to the finish. Yeah, 100%. I don't know what
I think. Just one more. Can I throw one more in?
Of course you can, mate. Throw as many as you want.
So I think this is, again, it's on the like loose things.
Okay.
Right? I don't, and I think this is because I don't understand it, because again, it just annoys me. I don't understand how people run with a water bottle in their hand and the water like just sloshing around. Like, I think maybe I've just got like a focus problem, but like,
no,
you know the water bottles
with the handle,
like the old ones McDonald's used to give out with the handle in the middle. Like, how do people? And I mean, listen, I might be like attacking a community here. I hope I'm not. And I think it's just because it annoys me, but I don't know how people do it.
On that though, do you know those types of bottles that they're not like it's not like a solid, it's like a flimsy, like recyclable plastic ones.
Oh,
so they're not the less liquid that's in
rustly.
there. Yeah, no, and then it like becomes all floppy. I hate those bottles as well. Like, oh yeah.
Oh, they're the ones that are supposed to be in like a running vest.
Yeah.
Hold them.
Yeah, I hate those ones. The last one I've got on here was, so it's specific. I've got a thing about people that take their tops off when they run. Now, look, there's certain things.
I do that on holiday.
Well, listen, no, but look, if you got it, flaunt it, fair enough.
I don't have it, but I flaunt it.
But at a park run, come on. Why do you need to take your top off at a park run?
Yeah, that's unnecessary.
Yeah, especially when you got
it's like a community.
It is, yeah. You got fat kids and families around. Like, hey, put your top on. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Put it away.
I hear you on that. Or just wear a vest. Like, if you get hot,
yeah.
Just wear a vest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, so shall we get into Paula's Corner, Will?
We've got Paula's Corner.
We have got Paula's Corner this week.
Yeah. Let's do
so, once again, shout out to Mason for his entry last week.
No, I loved Mason's entry last week.
I just love the fact that, like you said, somebody out there who we don't know has listened to our podcast and has got in touch with us. So, Mason, you will forever be It's Got Legs.
Let's call him either an OG or a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
We'll
Mason, the Hall of Famer of It's Got Legs. So, Mason, thank you very much. But after episode 4, my dad got in touch with me, who I refer to as the captain. So thank you, captain. And he has sent in an entry to Paula's Corner. I've printed it out.
And for reference, your dad is down in Cardiff.
In Cardiff. His dad is in Cardiff. So the viewers, this one page, my dad has written a novel. He has labelled it as "Why is everyone staring at me?" A treadmill tale submitted for Paula's Corner by the captain. Have you heard this?
No, I haven't.
Do you know what this is going to be?
I haven't.
Okay, perfect. I have to make sure I don't rustle the paper, so sorry for any listeners out there. Let me just iron out the creases. Right, okay. Here we go. As someone who got into running later in life, Parkrun had become an important part of my routine. But like many others, my running journey also includes a fair share of trial and error and the occasional moment of complete embarrassment! Not long after I started taking fitness seriously, I was regularly going to the gym and doing treadmill runs to help with my 5K training.
Nice.
I'd always run with music in my ears, and one day I treated myself to a pair of those new Bose wireless Bluetooth headphones. Ooh, swanky. They were fully charged and ready to go. I arrived at the gym, stored my kit bag, stepped onto the treadmill in a packed gym, and got ready to run.
Oh, do you know what? It's like the urinal debate when you what treadmill
what treadmill you take.
Yeah.
You got to go
when
on the end.
When there's people next to you, like you put yourself in the middle.
And it's also like it's big like energy if you just take the middle with all the treadmills. Or you take the middle one. Always go to the end. Right. Anyway, sorry. Where was I? There were people exercising all around me, including here we go. Someone to my left, someone to my right, someone right in front of me also.
Oh, this is like rows of treadmills.
Yeah. So here it's packed. Right. Okay. I got on the treadmill, started.
I've just got a vision of your dad jumping on a treadmill somebody's already on.
Hi, mate, don't want me.
That's why someone was in front of it. Like, I'll speed run now.
Speed this up. I got the treadmill started, popped in my new headphones, scrolled through my phone to find my running playlist and press play. Nothing. No sound. I turned the volume up, still nothing. A bit louder, still barely anything. Eventually, I could just about hear the music, though it was extremely quiet. I assumed I hadn't fitted the earbuds properly, so I pushed them in firmly, which helped a little bit. I started my 5K run, a bit disappointed, thinking that these expensive headphones weren't as good as I hoped. But as I continued running, I noticed that the people next to me were giving me odd looks. Others walking past were staring. Even the man in front kept glancing over his shoulder, thinking, "What on earth?" And I was thinking, "What on earth is going on?"
What was going through your head? There's nothing worse than being a gym of all environments and people looking at you and you going,
"What are you looking at?
Like, what am I doing wrong?"
Yeah.
Like, because
especially in the gym.
You feel really like
self-conscious. Yeah. After half an hour, I finished my 5K. I pressed stop on the treadmill. I reached my water bottle and removed my headphones. That's when I heard it. Loud music, my playlist, still blasting.
No, your dad was that guy.
Yeah, it turns out I hadn't paired my headphones at all. My phone had been playing music out loud at full volume into a busy gym for 30 minutes. Suddenly,
as if you went on that long.
Suddenly, all those odd looks made sense. It wasn't my finest moment. I was so embarrassed. Cheers, Captain.
That's good.
How funny is that?
I mean, the fact it wasn't just like 5 minutes and then you realised it was. You spent half an hour. And all I can imagine is in his head. He's going, "These headphones aren't working, are they? They're not very good."
Why are these people looking at me?
Why are these people looking at me?
And why didn't this guy on my treble speed up as well?
And there was no point when it just like sort of removed an earbud just to sort of check. It was just like,
I'm in the zone here, yeah.
This is what it is. I'm in the zone. I'm running. And then half an hour later, it's like, that's good.
And then like, I'd love to. I need to check in with the captain and find out if like that was the end of his workout. If he did any other exercise in the gym, or like if he just put his head down and just
never went back to that gym again.
Never went to the gym. Changed membership. But cheers, Captain, for the entry.
Thank you,
that's a great one. Remember, all you listeners out there, to send in your Paula's Corner entries, your embarrassing running story entries to our socials at It's Got Legs Pod across everything. that would be much appreciated. And also, to be fair, before we just kind of maybe start to wrap this up, thank yous are always going to be in order. We can never thank you, listeners, marshals, enough for supporting the pod. We continue to have great reception.
I'll say one thing on my parkrun this weekend.
Oh, go on.
Right. So obviously there were 4 laps. So you saw the marshal 4 times.
Yeah.
But there was a point where you saw the marshals 8 times because you sort of ran up this track and back down this track, and they were stood at the joint.
Yeah.
So on the 6th, 7th, and 8th time, I was in my head like, do I thank them again? I've thanked them 6, 7 times. And I'm like, yeah, cheers, Marshall, again, thank you.
No, I always line it up, and then on the last one, I always go, have a great weekend, Marshall.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you got to get it.
Like that.
Yeah.
But thank you, Marshall, 8 times within the space of 23 minutes.
Yeah, it's got, all right, lads, shut up.
Yeah, we get it.
But no, seriously, I hope you listeners don't get tired of us saying it. Thank you very much for listening. We've reached a massive milestone for us. Over 250 total podcast downloads.
Yeah, that's massive.
And we're about to release the 5th episode. So in 4 episodes, 250 downloads is crazy. So thank you very, very, very much for everybody who's supporting this podcast and checking us out on social media at It's Got Legs Pod. We're going to keep saying that. We are just blown away with how this is going. And we have got some, I said it after the 3rd episode, of 4th episode, we've got some really exciting guests lined up. Don't want to go into it too much, but we've got some really exciting opportunities. We can't wait to get people on. And if you do want to come on this podcast, it's an open door. We'd love to welcome you on. So please do get in touch if you've got a story to tell, or if you've got running education to provide to us or listeners.
Or
please
even
do get in touch.
If you've just gone to support someone at, let's say, the London Marathon this weekend, and you've got some good stories and stuff, and you just want to come on and chat, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we'd love for people to get in touch and spread this podcast, because we want, like we said after the last episode, we're really enjoying to see where this podcast is moving and progressing. So I guess it's time to say that thank you for everybody for the support. We really do appreciate it. But that is It's Got Legs, signed off.